My name is Clifford Quaw. I am from the Tlaitli First Nations. I'm also an elder and a residential school survivor. And I attended the Lejac Indian Residential School, located 200 kilometers west of Prince George.
My name is Cora Voyageur. I'm a survivor of the Holy Angels Residential School in Fort Chipewyan, Alberta.
My name is Rose Grace Miller. I am survivor of the Kamloops Indian Residential School in Kamloops.
I was 5 years old when I was forcibly taken.
I was 9 years old when I was taken.
I was only 8 years old at the time. We were loaded onto a cattle truck in 1949 and brought to the residential school, my two brothers and myself.
I was in residential school with my two younger sisters, Lillian and Dorothy.
At this school, I experienced emotional, physical, mental, and sexual abuse. And the trauma was so great that I blanked most of my school days at Lejac.
The violence that we experienced at the hands of the nuns was quite random. So it was like you were walking on eggshells and didn't really know, what was going to happen next.
And it was horrible to be there. They told us if we didn't pray, the devil would take us to hell and burn us. They said if we didn't pray, the Romans would come and they would drape us and they would burn our eyes and burn our hands and poke out our eyes. 8 years old, you believe whatever you're told. So we pray all the harder.
When I was in residential school, there was one instance that I experienced where my sister was being beaten by a nun on the other side of a door. And my sister was screaming and crying. And I was on the other side of the door trying to get in and trying to basically rescue her from a nun who seemed to be quite out of control. It was terrifying to have someone that you love being beaten and really not being able to do anything about it.
Many times we got knocked to the floor by the nuns, and they would call us a whore. We don't even know what a whore is. I was raped there at Indian school. For me, it followed me through my life. The anger, the fear, the shame.
I was so mad and angry and everything. All my life was big negativity. All my positive attitudes I buried.
My reaction to the news out of Kamloops from last week was, of course, great sadness and sympathy for the families of those children who never did come back from residential school. But I wasn't surprised by it. I don't for a minute believe that this is the only one in Canada.
I, as a survivor, expected this. But what really shocked me was I thought it'd be 10 or 20. But when they said 215, you'd expected to find that somewhere else but in Canada. That was mind-boggling.
We knew that there was missing children. We knew there was children that were buried on the hillside there and probably on the school. We knew there was people burned in an incinerator just below our rec room.
It could have very easily have been me or one of my sisters.
It could have been my brothers. It could have been me. Couldn't have ran away. I could have drowned in a river. I was only 8 years old.
I want non-Indigenous people to know that there is a very dark history in Canada and that people have to be understanding and they have to be compassionate.
I want the non-Indigenous people to know that how painful it was and how the colonization hurt us so badly, how it's still hurting us with the racism.
I want the non-Indigenous people to understand. They must know, they must learn more about the schools. And that's the reason, one of the reasons why I'm doing this, to educate the public. about what happened in the residential schools and how I went through about 20 years of my life to where I am today.
They need to understand and stand beside us. It's not their fault. I'm not bringing this up to blame anybody, but I want the history to be known.